Recently, government has announced that it will replace UGC with some other body which will only regulate the higher education in India. So, in this video, we deal with what actually the higher education means to us, then what is the UGC and what are the problems associated with UGC and the pros and cons associated with a new agency which will be set up in the future. So, moving further, first of all, here is a thing that is higher education. Yes, higher education plays an important role in our overall development. See, the person who are doing UPSC, MPSC, as well as various state public services examination, or any person who is a working professional, that skilled manpower is created, that is the person who do political activities as well as economical activities are all the people who got formal and higher education from one or the other universities. Then moving further, higher education gives us the necessary skills and they work for the skill development because the various extracurriculum activities are helpful in this regard. Then third thing, they are important for research and innovation because research and innovation carried out in the universities help them to pursue their few further studies as well as PhDs. And finally, we know that the teachers eligibility test and the various examination to select teachers is also a higher education. So directly or indirectly, it shapes the primary education. So, higher education is important in these four aspects. Now, moving further, here it is a UGC, that is Universities Grant Commission. In the Universities Grant Commission, they gives grants to the universities, that is on the basis of accreditation, that is the quality assurance which was conducted by the UGC. To them the grants are given, and UGC is set up under the Act of 1956. So it is a statutory body which regulates the higher education in our country. Now moving further, what are the problems? What are the problems associated with the UGC? If we compare the 1956 and 2018, there are universities and colleges. Earlier, the universities and colleges are minimal in number, but in the recent context, the number of universities as well as colleges increased a lot. So, the regulation which was done by UGC got overburdened. So it is necessary to expand the reach of UGC to look after the administration as well as regulation of maximum number of colleges in the private as well as public sector. Then second, different bodies to control. Here we must note that UGC is granting as well as accreditation, while if we consider Medical Council of India, then Bar Council of India, then Pharmaceutics Department, AICTE, there are various sub branches in the UGC which are controlling the education. So there was a need of a single institution which will regulate all this. And finally, Yashpal Committee and Hari Gautam Committee. Hari Gautam Committee is recently appointed by the NDA government. Yes, it is the NDA government which also recommended there must be a single coordinating and a single institution which will look after the higher education. So if the government replace UGC, that is University Grants Commission, with another different body, then what are the pros and cons of this step? We will look into this. Okay, first of all, Firstly, we will know that how the governmental new body will work. In the new structure, government has proposed that accreditation, that is quality assurances, is conducted by University Grant Commission, while the grants, that is funding, is given by Human Resource Ministry. I apologize, that is accreditation is done by the new committee which will set up, not the UGC will be scrap out. So what are the positives of this step? What are the positives of this step? First of all, Modi government focused on the minimum government and maximum governance. So earlier the funding is done from the ministry to UGC and then UGC to universities. So in this chain there are three three important components, but now with a new structure it will only the it will only the ministry and the final university. So there are only the giver and acceptor of the funds. So minimum government, maximum governance. Then moving further, it will decrease the number of sorry number of universities increased. So UGC cannot regulate all these institutions. So in order to regulate and maintain the efficiency on the higher education institutes, the given accreditation and quality assurance quality of your new body will surely help to maintain the educational standards, so efficiency in the higher education. Then third point is Inspector Raj. We know that in multiple cases that if the quality assurance is good, then the funding is given. But in the new concept, the Inspector Raj, that is the thing which depend on another thing, will completely abolish. So the only thing given to the new committee or the new body will only the accreditation. Then moving further, it is a multi-regulatory and overlapping body jurisdiction, as in the case of UGC, Medical Council of India, Bar Council, as well as Higher Education Financing Agency. These are the multilateral and multi-regulatory and overlapping body jurisdictions. So we'll curb this. And lastly, there are specific norms for fixing the fee in the new agency. So it will advise the educational institutions to make affordable education to all the people. And while considering this, there are other factors also which are in the negative. If the funding is under the human resource development, then it may be in the crunches of politicization. That is, the new government or the next government may not give proper funding to all the institutions. And finally, the new institution is the new institution is created for bringing the efficiency in the higher education. So it must require research in that field. So the funding allocation should be proper for this new institution. So these are the positive and negatives, and we have to conclude with the support with the governmental step. So thank you for this particular discussion.